Welcome back to The Remote Life. My name is Han Talbot, also known as Han Meets World, and today we'll be chatting with KC Caldwell. Originally from the US and currently residing in Barbados thanks to the Welcome Stamp visa, she is founder of KC the Counselor, as well as host of the Millennial Therapist Abroad Podcast. In this episode, we'll be talking more about the Welcome Stamp visa process, as well as KC's thoughts on island life, and some other things to consider when moving to the island. So grab a coffee, a tea, or something stronger, and let's get started. Well, KC, welcome to the Remote Life Podcast. How are you today?
I feel amazing. This breeze right now
So great, yeah.
is wonderful. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so just for some context, we are in Lime Grove today, and I have to say it's paradise.
It's
even though-
divine. It's divine.
Is it like a go-to place for you, or?
Absolutely. I just relocated to this part of the island a couple weeks ago. So it's fresh and it's a new spot for me, and I absolutely love it.
Well, we'll get more into that in a second, but
Yeah.
first of all, how do you know? So tell us about you and your remote life journey so far.
Absolutely. So I'm Casey from St. Louis, Missouri. So I am American, and I actually started working remote in 2017.
Wow.
So,
OG.
not new to this, true to this
Yeah.
kind of thing, right? And so fast forward, first COVID, put a lot of people in the house, and I just continue my remote journey since then, but in some capacity since 2017.
Wow. So what brought you to Barbados? So did you start in the US, or did you slowly make your way with it, or what was the situation?
Yeah, so I started working remote in the US. It was for a small firm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar, all of the neighbors are like Amish. And so it was a culture shock
Wow.
in terms of like the community. But I started in 2017, and I would say 2018 going into 2020, I started my private practice. So it was that moment where I became solo as a virtual private practice owner. So I am a licensed therapist within my private practice, and all the sessions are online.
Amazing.
So
So you can bring your
consistently-
work, like, oh, that's
Absolutely. Since
amazing.
2020, yes.
That. And can I ask, like, who are your primary sort of customers or clients?
So I love working with millennial women.
Okay, great.
I love us. I love corporate professionals as well. And I also do some work with veterans. So I
Okay.
actually secured a contract to start my private practice with a third-party administrator, is what we call them in the U.S.
Okay.
And so with that contract, I assist our service members who are transitioning out of the military
Okay.
and want a second career and want to kind of use their benefits. And so that started the journey of my private practice. And since then, I've added on mental health counseling as well. And I do evaluations, and it's all remote.
It's amazing. I love that. I have to say, side note, I love that we're talking about mental health more. I think it's so
Yes.
important, especially in like a remote world.
Yes.
So I don't know if you find that that's a whole other topic that I could honestly like side dive into. But obviously, we have to talk about Barbados. Why Barbados? What brought you here? I mean, obviously, like,
As we sit here just enjoying this lovely breeze and the sunshine, like, why not Barbados? I actually have a good girlfriend named Kimberly Cambridge. She lives in St. Vincent, and we met in grad school. And she obviously was in the U.S. on a Fulbright scholarship. And so we connected, quickly and just became cool. You know how you need your buddies in grad school to kind of get through the shenanigans? And so I would always tell her that I would come and visit, like year after year, and I never came.
okay.
And so like fast forward from 15, 16 to 2025, and I literally moved. I relocated from the U.S. to Barbados. So I'm like close. I'm really close to her. St. Vincent isn't that far from Barbados.
I mean, yeah, to get that, I was thinking from the UK.
Yeah, it's
I
one of the
forget, like,
closer islands to Barbados. And outside of that, I had non-negotiables because my lease was going to be up soon too. So I figured, okay, I need to live in a location with warm weather year round.
Yep.
I need to live around Black people because I do feel safe in that way. And I wanted to live near the beach. And so I was looking at places in the U.S. like Wilmington, North Carolina, kind of on the West Coast as well. But digital nomad visas caught my attention online because I blog as well.
Yeah.
And so I started to do some research about that, and I found like a list of countries that offer these digital nomad visas. Barbados was top on the list for that.
Yeah, I think they were like one of the first
Yeah.
places that really like took it seriously, which is amazing. Yeah. So how long have you been here now? Sorry, if you haven't asked.
I actually moved here from the U.S. April 18th. So I'm fresh, a couple months.
Oh wow! fresh, like is the first time in Barbados altogether? Or
Yes, I relocated from the U.S. sight unseen. I
you saw
trusted
your
my
friends on your
gut.
toes
I
and
had my
yeah.
girlfriend in St.
Yeah.
Vincent because she went to university here
Okay.
in Barbados as well. So she had connections. Like she connected me with her friend Kyle Legal. You know, it's nice to have Bayesian friends because it's new and you really don't know the ins and outs until you're in the thick of it. Of course, I'm online, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok looking at everything, trying to figure out like what's the scoop, what do I need, what are my, essential international travel little gadgets and stuff. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess obviously it seems like a silly question, but I had to ask, like, what are some of the key differences for you living in the States versus Barbados? Like, what if you were to say something like top 5 differences?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So slower living.
Okay.
So island time is a real thing.
Yeah.
So I'm still adjusting to just like slowing down
Okay.
and being patient and not rushing. Also, I would say the people. The people, like the local Bajans, they are very, very welcoming. And I just love the culture overall, from the people to the food to the traditions. It's different. I feel welcome here. I don't feel ostracized like I did living in the US. I feel safe here as a Black woman as well. And I'm a millennial also. And so we kind of are in that space where we're trying to figure out life. Are we having kids or doing like micro retirements?
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
So I would say those things really have like helped me acclimate to the Bayesian culture for sure.
And what's like one thing, I guess, maybe that you would say that people would be surprised to know about Barbados?
I guess how friendly and welcoming the people are.
Oh, yeah?
That would be a surprise, and how close you are to a beach.
Uh-huh.
There are so many beaches everywhere, and they are in walking distance. I think they would also be surprised that you can live here on a budget
Okay.
as well, because when you talk about Barbados, it is relatively expensive compared to other islands.
Yeah.
However, there is a way once you get acclimated and meet local friends that you're able to enjoy your life here, kind of live like a local, for better lack of a word, and really have a budget while you're living here. Yeah.
So let's talk about the visa process a little bit, if you
Okay.
don't mind. Like, how was it? Was it relatively easy for you to do? How was that process?
You know what? They made the process so easy. A quick application online. Of course, you got to submit your bank statements and whatever documents to solidify your income that you're making USD, copies of your identification. And I received a notification about my approval within like 7 days. So the turnaround time was
amazing.
relatively quick. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. And tell me a little bit more about accommodation and things like that. So obviously we talked about the visa process itself, but how was it finding accommodation? And
You know what? I leaned on my good friend Kim for her assistance, and I also did my own research. There was a lady named Jackie that I binge watched on YouTube. She creates content about being an expat in Barbados as well. So I ended up booking a consultation with her, which went really well. And she also introduced me to her realtor and different things like that. But what I will say is I was having a bit of difficulty finding like pet friendly accommodations because I do plan to bring my pet here.
Yeah.
So when I first moved here, I stayed in short-term rentals, which is more expensive.
Right.
And the plan was to, while I'm there for the 2 weeks at the short-term rentals, to meet with a realtor, look at, properties, do some tours, and kind of decide on like a longer-term lease. That really didn't happen. So I had to extend my short-term stay. And that's important because, again, it is expensive because they charge per night compared to like per month. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a major difference in terms of the budget. So I ended up finding this spot online. So shout out to Facebook, okay? Because the Facebook groups, that's a great way to meet people and to find accommodations. And that's what I personally use as well. So on Facebook, I had some local connections. And I was able to find it that way. But right now I'm in a condo that I really like. And it's midterm, so it's like 6 months or less.
Let's not say that, yeah. It's a little bit, gives you some flexibility.
Yes, because apparently high season is coming, in the fall.
Yeah.
And so at that time, the accommodations becomes pretty competitive because, tourists are coming in and they typically prioritize the short-term stays for the tours.
Would you think you probably would move somewhere else in the island? Like, is that something you were thinking about?
You know what? I started on the South Coast, loved it. I was in Hastings, Rockley area, fantastic, right across from the Rockley Beach. And now I'm on the West Coast, and I love it as well.
Right.
So the only places left is like North, like St. Lucie, and maybe the East
Oh,
Coast.
sorry, yeah.
But I would love to go back to the South Coast because of how accessible it was. Something else to keep in mind is since I'm on the welcome stamp, I don't have a car, right? So I need to live in a location where it's walking distance to like the police station, the grocery store, things like that, the ATM. And so South Coast provided that for me. Plus, when I first moved here, like all of my friends that I met were kind of there.
Okay.
And then when I relocated, they're like, I live too far now. West Coast. So I don't see them as often.
Okay.
So yeah, I would probably more than likely move back to the South Coast.
You think you'll get a car, or is that on your mind, or?
You know what? I looked into it. It seems to be a tumultuous process for whatever reason. So I'm thankful I have friends with cars who don't mind. I treat them too, every now and again just to kind of show my appreciation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Is there anything else? Because I feel like in my mind, I would go, oh, no, just rent a car, like it's fine. Or in my mind, I didn't think about that. But was there anything else, I guess, that people might be surprised to know or you wish you had known before you maybe moved here about like logistics or anything around that?
Definitely bring the local currency,
Okay.
the Bayesian dollar. It'll be nice to know that and have it beforehand because it's just easier to deal with because there is an exchange.
Yeah.
So for the US dollar, I believe it's $2. So every one Bayesian dollar equals $2 US.
Got it. Okay.
And if you're not careful and you're using your US dollars, then you may not know if you're getting the exact change. Like you really gotta slow down. Going back to the island time that we were talking about earlier, you gotta slow down because people, for the most part, people are generous. They'll let you know that you gave them too much money, but some people won't. And that's anywhere you go.
Okay.
That's anywhere you go. So I would say bring like local currency or get some as soon as you get here. For sure. Yeah.
All right.
Don't make the mistake I made. I did the currency exchange at the Atlanta airport and the rates weren't the best. So I learned my lesson.
I mean, airports just don't
Exactly.
Exactly. Right.
Learn my lesson learned.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to go back to your job real quick because I think some people will be curious to know is what it is that you do in order to be able to be here.
Yeah.
A little bit about, I suppose, for example, people might not know that you have to have a position outside the US. They have income from outside the Barbados,
Exactly.
in order to be on the visa here, right? So can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So I have a virtual private practice.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Illinois and South Carolina.
Mm.
So outside of that, I also provide career counseling to our service members and people in the military in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it is 100% telehealth, 100% online.
Yeah.
I use like Zoom and Google Meets and other video conferencing like tools to do my work. And it's all USD. So all of my clients are American as well.
Okay. Nice. And then you mentioned millennials earlier as well.
Yes.
And we were talking a little bit before, and you were saying that people might be surprised that there are more millennials and whatnot on the island.
Well, I haven't seen many of them.
Oh,
I guess in terms of people on the welcome stamp and expats. You see a lot of like more seasoned expats, more seasoned people on the welcome stamp. For whatever reason, maybe they have more discretionary income, but I would like to meet more people within the millennial like age group because I feel like I can relate to them a little bit better. Plus, within my private practice, those are my ideal clients as well. And so it's just nice to be around something that's kind of familiar.
Yes.
Because I'm 2,000 plus miles away from home. And it's just nice to have that familiarity within my work.
It's super helpful to know about the Facebook groups and things like that because, I mean, in my mind, I wouldn't think to go to Facebook groups anymore. But
yes, they are there. They're popping. They're knowledgeable. You will get exactly what you need. You can connect with people before you move here. So it really worked out. And I also have my own private Facebook group too, actually. It's called Millennial Therapist Abroad.
Amazing.
So if you are a millennial woman, you're in private practice, want to be in private practice, and you need some tools, some support, because it gets isolating. Because I'm solo in my private practice. And so I don't have like colleagues or coworkers that I can, do case consultations with and talk about a case with. So yes, Millennial Therapist Abroad is the private Facebook group. And I also have another private Facebook group called Military Benefits 101. to help the American veteran community leverage their benefits for the best experience.
Right.
Because they have access to a slew of benefits once they get done serving our country in the military, from education to disability to employment, all of that. So those are my 2 private Facebook groups. So I use the groups, and I also manage my own groups.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, we'll just do some quick fire questions now, just so let people get
Okay.
to know a little bit more of the island. So you've obviously mentioned community so far. Where have you found that there is community IRL, like just in person, most in the island?
I would say sporting events. I attended a rugby game a while back and fell in love. Had no idea what rugby was.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like gymnastics mixed with jiu-jitsu and football. So I would say sporting events is a great way to see that community and to build your own community. Yeah.
Great. I'm going to cricket in a couple of days, the first time ever, so we'll see how that works.
That should be fun. And squash is also popular here as well. So I attended a squash game recently too, and that was fun.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite coffee on the island? Are you a coffee fan?
I love coffee.
Okay.
And I love this question. Oh, shout out to the cake lady on the Gap.
Okay.
She has 2 locations on the Gap, the Cake Lady Coffee Shop. She's from the UK as well.
Oh, amazing.
She
Great.
makes the best matcha lattes. And I'm picky with everything in life. So I get an iced matcha with oat milk, and I get the scoop of the vanilla powder that they use for the frozen coffee drinks because it makes it creamier. But yeah, the Cake Lady on the Gap has the best coffee here.
Love.
Unfortunately, she doesn't have a location on the West Coast though. So I'm on the hunt for like
hint, like, make it happen.
right. I'm on the hunt for like a new place like locally here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best food.
Oh, the food is so good here. The best food comes from like the van ladies. If you're on the side of the road, if you're headed to the beach, or you just see like a lady with a white van, eat there. Eat there. You're going to get a good meal. It's going to be plenty of food. It's seasoned, and it's a good deal. So I would say the van ladies. There's a lady that's usually parked right across from Time Out Hotel in the Gap, and she has really good food. Like all kinds of meats, lamb, chicken, fish, pie, rice and peas. It's so good.
I'm like already thinking about it. Just just saying that. Okay, and final question. Fill in the blank. Home as well.
Wherever you want it to be.
Done.
Very.
Casey, thank you so much. It's been really good to chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. And thank you so much to Barbados Tourism for partnering with us on this episode, as well as Casey for taking the time to speak with us. You can find links to all of their profiles below. Thank you so much again for listening, and we can't wait to remote work with you again soon.